My husband Floyd and I met at the company where we worked. We fell in love and got married after an office romance. I was supposed to have happy days ahead after being blessed with a new life. However, since becoming pregnant, my husband's attitude has changed dramatically, and he started to verbally abuse me. I was going through a lot after giving birth to twins, and my husband was pushing unreasonable demands on me. Feeling helpless, I decided to seek help from a certain person. I met my current husband at a company where I used to work. He was my boss. We started dating after working together for a while, and eventually got married. When my husband got transferred, I quit my job, and that's when I found out I was pregnant.
Raising children must be tough, so I want you to stay home until things settle down.
My husband said that to me, so I took him up on his offer and became a housewife. At first, my husband was incredibly kind. Whenever I tried to carry something even slightly heavy, he would say,
"Let me carry that for you,"
and worry about me. We found out we were pregnant and we were so happy. However, those happy days didn't last very long. I started having morning sickness around the 5th week of pregnancy. Until then, I was able to do things like laundry and cleaning as usual. But as the morning sickness got worse, I started spending more time in bed and couldn't keep up with the housework.
"Hey, where's my dinner?"
"I'm sorry, I couldn't prepare it today."
"What's the matter? I came home hungry."
"I'm sorry, I can't move because of the morning sickness."
It's just morning sickness, not a disease. Make sure you prepare dinner for tomorrow,"
he muttered in a sulky tone and locked himself in his room. However, the next day when he returned home from work, he looked uneasy and apologized to me.
"I'm sorry about yesterday."
I was surprised by his sudden apology. What happened?
"Well, actually, when I complained to my boss that my wife wasn't able to prepare dinner due to her severe morning sickness, he scolded me. 'Don't make light of morning sickness. Prepare your own meals.' Morning sickness can be really debilitating, you know. From now on, I'll prepare my own dinner."
After this incident, on days when I was feeling unwell, he would prepare his own meals, but he wasn't very proactive in helping with the household chores. A few months later, I gave birth. We were blessed with the birth of adorable twin babies. It was my first childbirth and raising twins. I had no idea what to do and was struggling every day.
"Hey, where's my shirt? Did you iron it?"
Sorry, not yet."
"Hey, have you been slacking off with the housework lately just because you're taking care of the kids?"
During the busy morning rush, as he prepared to leave for work, my husband heard my reply and let out a deep sigh before saying,
"That wasn't my intention. You haven't done the laundry. The cleaning's not done, and the room's a mess. I'm the one working. You're the one staying at home. So take care of the house properly."
"It's not that I haven't. It's just that I've been so busy with the twins."
"Don't make excuses. Just go ahead and iron it now."
With that, he threw his shirt onto the sofa and instructed me to iron it. I wondered why I should be the one to be told this, but I persevered. "Okay," I replied and had no choice but to iron it. I'm a little confused because he's changed so much since we got married. He wasn't like this before. My own parents live far away from here, and I don't want to worry them, so I haven't talked to them about it. But my in-laws are very kind. My husband's work brought us to his hometown, so we currently live near his parents. I'll talk to them when they come over next time. After giving birth, I was looking forward to happy days. But little did I know that I would have to endure my husband's unreasonable behavior in the days ahead. Yesterday, my father-in-law, Gail, visited our house to check on us. He brought toys for the children and helped take care of them while I was doing the housework. His kindness was very helpful.
"Patricia, are you tired? Are you okay?" Take care of yourself.
When he said those comforting words to me, I couldn't help but cry. Seeing my reaction, Gail seemed to sense that something was wrong and asked,
I've noticed that you haven't looked well lately. Is something bothering you? Riley is also worried about you, Patricia.
Actually, Floyd. Touched by Gail's kindness, I decided to confide in him about my husband's behavior at home. As I spoke, Gail's face became increasingly stern upon learning that my husband wasn't doing any housework or child-rearing.
That idiot son of mine. I'm really sorry, Patricia. I'll talk to him myself.
Gail, thank you. So my father-in-law told me that he would tell my husband to do the housework and childcare when he got home today. And so when my husband came home from work that night, he was quite surprised to see Gail standing guard at the entrances.
Hey, what are you doing here, Dad? I have something to talk to you about. Come over here. What is it?
My father-in-law was clearly angry.
Do you do housework and take care of the children? Huh? What's with the sudden question? Just answer the question. I do. I cook and clean the bathroom. Have you changed diapers? Do you put the children to bed? Well, Patricia told me everything. Doing occasional housework doesn't cut it. Patricia takes care of the children every day and does everything else. You need to do your fair share of housework and child rearing too. You're a father now, you know.
My husband seemed unable to say anything in response to my father-in-law's words, and just looked down. When my father-in-law asked if my husband understood what he had said, my husband reluctantly nodded without saying a word.
Patricia, I'm really sorry. If anything happens again, please let me know right away.
Gail, thank you so much. After being scolded by my father-in-law and promising to help with the housework, my husband hasn't done anything. The other night, our children were crying so much that I couldn't sleep and was desperately trying to comfort them.
Hey, the crying is too loud. I can't sleep.
I'm sorry, they won't stop crying.
I have to work tomorrow, too, and I want to sleep. Figure something out.
I was really angry and felt like saying, they're your children, too. I consulted with my father-in-law, and he gave my husband a stern talking to. But it doesn't seem like the situation has improved much. My patience has reached its limit. I packed my things and came back to my parents' house. This morning, while I was taking care of the kids and doing housework, my husband suddenly said,
When are you going to start working? Do you plan on being a housewife forever?
I didn't understand what he was saying, so I froze.
Hurry up and work. Do you plan on living off my money forever?
It seemed that my husband wants me to return to work soon and contribute financially to the household. But I thought we both agreed when I first got pregnant that I would take a break until I got settled with child rearing. We talked about that, right? I told my husband, but he responded with a puzzled expression.
Huh? We didn't talk about that. You've already given birth, so hurry up and work.
I don't understand why he's pretending like we never had that conversation. It's impossible for me to return to work while taking care of my infant twins. The children are still young, and it's impossible to work while taking care of them. My body isn't fully recovered yet either.
That's not an excuse. Pregnancy isn't an illness. My mother also worked while raising us, and everyone does it. There's no reason why you can't.
I'm not saying that I don't want to work. I'm saying that it's not realistic for me to return to work while I have infant children. I plan to return to work when they're older. I explained that I'm not fixated on being a housewife, but he didn't understand.
Hurry up and work. Don't be lazy. If you want to be a housewife, then get out of this house.
He started shouting at me, and I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to go back to my parents' house. The next morning, my husband left the house with a smile on his face, as if nothing had happened yesterday.
All right, I'm off.
I put on a smile and happily said, "Take care," as I sent him off. After that, I packed my bags, took my children, and boarded a plane. I hastily arranged last night to go to my parents' house. At first, my parents were surprised, but after seeing my condition, they kindly accepted us without saying a word. I'm so sorry for barging in so suddenly. It's okay, this is your home. Don't worry about it. Thank you. I decided to tell my parents about all the mistreatment I had received from my husband. They both looked shocked, and my mother even shed tears. I had no idea. I'm sorry I didn't notice earlier. It's okay. I didn't want to worry you both, so I kept quiet. You can stay here for as long as you need to. No matter what choices you make from now on, your father and I will be on your side. My mother held my hand and said those words. I was happy to hear them, and it gave me the courage to fight against my husband again. My husband had been pressuring me to go back to work soon after giving birth, and he didn't listen to my pleas. I had reached my limit with his behavior, so I decided to flee to my parents' house. I just got a call from my husband. As soon as I answered, he exploded.
Where the hell are you right now? You haven't even done the laundry? And what about dinner?
Can't you tell just by looking? I'm not coming back.
Huh?
I'm at my parents' house.
What? Why?
You told me to leave, so I left as you wanted.
What the hell are you talking about?
When my husband heard my words, he changed his tone from the initial outburst to a bewildered one, as if he couldn't comprehend the situation. Don't worry. The kids are with me. Now we can relax and enjoy ourselves. I could tell that my husband was getting flustered on the phone with my sarcastic comment.
No, I just said that in the heat of the moment.
Oh, so you're the kind of person who tells his wife to leave on a whim?
No, it's not like that.
Can't you take responsibility for your own words? You even complained about the noise from our kids crying. But they're your children too. Anyway, I'm not coming back. With that, I unilaterally hung up the phone. As soon as I got tough with my husband, he would get weak and upset. I wondered what had been holding me back all this time. For the time being, I told him that I would not return. But I'm still thinking about what to do in the future. And the next day, after that, my husband called me a few times. But I ignored his calls. I don't want to talk to him right now. I just contacted my in-laws. I told them about the situation. How my husband told me to leave if I became a full-time housewife, and how he pushed all the housework and childcare onto me. Patricia, I had no idea we caused you so much trouble. I'm so sorry about my son. What can I do to apologize? My mother-in-law cried as she said that. Seeing my kind in-laws cry because of a husband who caused them so much trouble only made me angrier and more frustrated.
Patricia, whatever decision you make, we're prepared to accept it. We might have spoiled our son too much. We're truly sorry.
No, I'm really grateful to you both. Gail and Riley, I don't have any resentment toward you guys at all. But I can't continue with Floyd anymore. I want to talk to Floyd directly about the future. Would you be willing to help me?
Of course, anything you need, just let us know.
Thank you very much. It's reassuring. I talked to my in-laws like this, and later on, I decided to talk face-to-face with my family at home. After coming back home, I thought about the future carefully. I decided to take a step forward, not only for me, but above all, for the future of my children. A few weeks later, the day of the discussion finally arrived. We're about to have a discussion. I'm nervous, but I'm going to express my thoughts firmly. And then, a few hours later, after the discussion, my husband left home with his parents. During our discussion today, to determine the schedule, I called my husband once. However, when he answered the phone, he weakly said,
Hey, are you not planning to come back?
I'm not. I want you to come over to my parents' house this Sunday so we can discuss the future.
Why the hell are we at your parents' house? Why don't you just come over here?
You don't understand how difficult it is to take the kids on transportation, do you? Anyway, I have already talked to your parents, so you must come.
Hey.
Perhaps because I decided to talk with him a little too forcefully, my husband came to my parents' house that day with a grumpy look on his face. Thank you for coming, Gail. Riley.
Patricia, I'm sorry for what our son did.
I'm really sorry, Patricia.
What the hell? Now even my parents? Shut up, first of all. Apologize. I didn't do anything.
Are you saying you didn't do anything? Even at this point, my husband still won't admit his mistake. My husband lifted his head as if he had been struck by my words and glared at me.
You left on your own, didn't you?
That's because you told me to leave.
Try to imagine coming back to a house where there's no cleaning or laundry done. I work hard too, you know.
If you think that way, why don't you do the cleaning and laundry yourself? As I said that, my husband gave me a look, as if he was looking down on me.
Housework and childcare are a wife's job. You're a stay-at-home wife after all. Who do you think is paying for our livelihood?
I was getting irritated by my husband's words and was about to say something back, but my father-in-law stood up faster than me, stared at my husband and said strongly,
Shut up already. Who do you think Patricia is?
He shouted loudly. My husband was stunned by the sudden anger, and I was surprised too. My mother-in-law was sitting next to my father-in-law with tears in her eyes.
What, Dad? Whether she's a housewife or whatever, husbands and wives are equal. When you were young, your mom and I shared household chores and child rearing. That's what a normal couple does. You're wrong. What?
I'm so embarrassed and ashamed that I can't even look at Patricia. Upon seeing his mother crying and shrinking in front of him, Floyd seemed to realize things were getting serious and became frustrated. If that's really what you think, then it's over. Floyd, let's get a divorce. I've said this and slammed the divorce papers in front of him. And I will make sure you pay child support properly.
Well, what are you talking about?
I have no intention of becoming your maid.
Wait a minute. I won't be here. You can't raise the twins alone.
Don't worry about me. My mother is here and it's much better than being with you. I don't have any desire to be with you anymore, so let's get a divorce. When I presented the divorce papers to my husband again, he seemed shocked to be told by his scorned wife that he was getting divorced and couldn't say anything.
Patricia, I'm really sorry. We'll leave with our son today.
Yes, please take care of the divorce papers. I understand, don't worry. I'll make sure he signs them. My in-laws said that and forcibly pushed their stunned son into the car and left the house. I realized that what my husband wanted from me was someone who would take care of the housework and child rearing, and that's not what being a couple is about. So, for now, I plan to proceed with the divorce and think about my future job prospects at my parents' house. During the discussion, my children were being taken care of by their grandmother. Although it seems they could hear their grandfathers yelling, my twins were sleeping well. They seemed like they will grow up to be great people in the future. And then a few days later, finally the divorce papers with my husband's signature arrived. It's finally happening. And just now I received a call from my father-in-law. Apparently there was a commotion when they were trying to get my husband to sign the papers. I asked for more details, and it turns out that they surrounded him with relatives and pressured him into signing. At first, my husband refused, but eventually he had no choice when he was being pressured from all sides. Lately at work, my husband has been wearing wrinkled shirts and has been lacking energy, so rumors started spreading that we were getting a divorce and that I had left him. Did his wife run away? Rumors started spreading, and it seems he quickly became isolated from his surroundings. My husband's former boss scolded him before and apparently said some harsh words like,
Someone who can't prioritize their family can't prioritize customers either. Reflect on that.
After that, it became uncomfortable for him to work at the company. However, he had no choice but to continue working to pay for child support and rent. He hasn't changed jobs and is somehow doing his best. Since then, my husband has found himself unable to do the housework and is complaining that if only I were here. But he totally deserves it. I have no intention of seeing him again, and I have no intention of letting my children see him either. Now that I'm away from him, I feel like I have more emotional space. I want to protect my children and make sure they continue to grow up healthy. From now on, the three of us will do our best together. I suffered from my husband's unreasonable behavior. But with the help of my in-laws and people around me, I thought for myself, gathered the courage to take action, and was able to overcome this adversity.